A price war begins when companies operating in the same industry start aggressively lowering their prices, each trying to outdo the other in order to attract more customers. It's a fierce competition where the main weapon is price, and the goal is to win over as many buyers as possible, often at any cost. Picture two bakeries on the same street, both selling identical loaves of bread. One bakery decides to drop its prices to lure in more customers. The other bakery, not wanting to lose business, quickly matches or even undercuts the price. Before long, both are caught in a relentless cycle, each lowering prices further and further, locked in a race to the bottom where profit margins shrink with every round. The main objective behind this battle? To grab a bigger slice of the market, hoping that competitors will eventually give up, scale back, or even go out of business entirely. Companies hope that by enduring the pain of lower profits, they'll emerge as the last ones standing. Price wars often break out when there's an oversupply of goods, too many products chasing too few buyers, or when a new competitor enters the market, offering rock-bottom prices to quickly attract attention and build a customer base. Sometimes, it's the big players who start the war, slashing prices to squeeze out smaller rivals who can't afford to keep up. For shoppers, a price war can feel like a dream come true. Suddenly everything is on sale, and bargains are everywhere. It's an exciting time to buy, with discounts and deals that seem too good to pass up. But beneath the surface, there's a hidden cost. Companies are slashing prices so deeply that they're eating into the money they need to pay workers, invest in better products, or even keep the lights on. The excitement for customers masks the financial strain for businesses. While shoppers enjoy short-term savings, the industry as a whole can suffer long-term damage. Stores may close, jobs can be lost, and the market becomes less stable. As profits dwindle, companies find it harder to invest in quality improvements, new technology, or innovative products. The drive to survive leaves little room for progress. The end result? Shoppers may face fewer choices, lower quality goods, and a lack of innovation. The entire industry can stagnate, and everyone loses out in the long run. Even the so-called winner of a price war may find themselves stuck with customers who now expect permanently low prices, making it hard to ever raise prices again or rebuild profits. Many companies simply don't survive the battle, and the industry landscape is changed forever, often with fewer players and less competition. This is why China's government is increasingly alarmed by the price wars erupting in its key industries. They worry about the long-term health of the economy, the stability of jobs, and the future of innovation in the country. In China, price wars are a symptom of deeper economic troubles that have been building for years, not just a recent phenomenon. Beneath the surface of busy markets and vibrant city streets, a complex struggle is unfolding. The economy has slowed, and consumers are spending less than before. People are more cautious with their money, carefully weighing every purchase, and many are choosing to save rather than spend. Factories that were once built for boom times now face a harsh reality. Warehouses overflowing with unsold goods, and production lines running below capacity. Workers worry about job security as orders dry up. With too much supply and not enough demand, companies are forced to slash prices just to move inventory off the shelves. Discounts and promotions become a daily routine, not just a seasonal event. When one company cuts prices, others quickly follow, afraid of losing even a small share of the market. Soon, the whole industry is caught in a downward spiral, with profits shrinking and competition intensifying. China's government once encouraged fierce competition, leading to crowded markets in cars, electronics, and countless other sectors. This created a landscape where dozens of brands jostle for attention, each trying to outdo the other. Now, dozens of companies fight for the same cautious customers, all hoping to survive in a market where loyalty is rare and price is king. Price cuts become the fastest and sometimes the only way to stand out from the crowd, even if it means selling at a loss. For many businesses, it's a gamble they feel forced to take. The result is a desperate battle for survival, not just a business tactic. Owners and workers alike feel the pressure as every day brings new uncertainty. These price wars reflect China's shift from rapid growth to economic uncertainty. The days of double-digit expansion are gone, replaced by a more challenging reality. Companies are fighting over a shrinking pool of consumer spending as families tighten their budgets and postpone big purchases. The headlines are filled with stories of discounts and price cuts, while officials in Beijing watch with growing concern, aware that these battles could have long-term consequences for the entire economy. Price wars are now a national issue, not just a business problem. They signal a turning point for China as the country grapples with how to sustain growth in a changing world. Nowhere is China's price war more intense than in electric vehicles. Once fueled by government subsidies, the EV market exploded with hundreds of companies. But as subsidies faded and growth slowed, competition turned brutal. Tesla kicked off a wave of price cuts in 2022, forcing Chinese rivals like BYD, NIO, and Xpeng to follow. Showrooms became battlegrounds, with brands slashing prices, offering free insurance, and piling on incentives. For consumers, EVs became more affordable than ever. But for car makers, profits vanished, even as sales rose. Smaller startups struggled to survive, unable to match the deep pockets of Tesla or BYD. The focus shifted from building the best car to offering the cheapest. This relentless price war threatens long-term innovation and quality. Companies have less to spend on research, better batteries, or safety. Even the winners may emerge weaker, with little room to raise prices or invest in the future. The EV price war is a high-stakes game with no real victors. Price wars aren't just for cars, they're shaking up China's tech sector too. Cloud giants like Alibaba and Tencent have slashed prices by over 50% to win customers. The goal lock in businesses now, hoping to profit later. For startups, cheaper cloud services are a boon, lowering barriers to entry. But for tech giants, profits are shrinking, and pressure mounts to cut costs elsewhere. Less money for data centers and R&D means slower innovation. The market could consolidate, leaving only a few giants standing. The focus shifts from quality and service to pure price. When survival is the goal, bold investment and innovation take a back seat. China's tech boom risks stalling as price wars eat into its foundations. Price wars slash profits, but the damage goes deeper. Smaller companies are often the first to collapse, unable to survive on razor-thin margins. With less money, businesses cut research, slow innovation, and compromise on quality. Cheaper materials and components mean products that don't last or perform as well. Customers may celebrate low prices but end up disappointed by unreliable goods. The pain spreads down the supply chain. Big companies squeeze their suppliers, who then face financial trouble. Instability ripples through the entire manufacturing ecosystem. A price war at the top sends shockwaves all the way down to the smallest workshops. The industry's long-term health is threatened, not just its profits. What starts as a battle for customers can end with fewer choices and lower standards for everyone. The real cost of a price war is often hidden until it's too late. It's a cycle that weakens the whole system. Workers are the hidden casualties of price wars. As companies slash costs, layoffs become common, and job security vanishes. Those who keep their jobs face wage freezes, lost benefits, and heavier workloads. Stress and uncertainty rise, creating a demoralizing workplace. Cost-cutting can also mean skimping on safety, putting workers at risk. The human toll is real: lost jobs, lower pay, and unsafe conditions. This is why China's government is so worried. Widespread unemployment and falling wages threaten social stability. Economic problems quickly become political ones. Price wars aren't just about business, they affect millions of lives. The stakes are higher than most people realize. China's government is fighting back against destructive price wars. Officials urge companies to cooperate, not compete to the death. In 2023, major car makers were asked to pledge fair pricing, sending a clear message from Beijing. The government uses its influence to warn against reckless competition and promote quality over discounts. Policies now target oversupply, limiting new factories in crowded sectors like EVs. The aim stop more companies from joining the price war. On the demand side, subsidies and incentives encourage consumers to spend. If people buy more, companies feel less pressure to cut prices. Beijing is fighting on multiple fronts to stabilize the economy. The battle is about more than profits, it's about the future of China's industries. Despite government efforts, price wars are tough to stop. China's market is huge and fiercely competitive. No single policy can control it all. Companies act in their own interest, even if it fuels a price war. Any truce is fragile. One price cut can trigger another round of discounts. The government faces a dilemma: rein in destructive competition without killing the drive that made Chinese firms global leaders. Too much control risks stifling innovation. Too little lets price wars rage on. Policymakers must balance stability with the need for competition. The right level of intervention is hard to find. China's economic miracle was built on rivalry, but now that rivalry threatens to undermine it. The struggle to manage price wars is a test of China's new economic era. The outcome will shape the country's future. China stands at a crossroads, and the outcome of its price wars will shape its future. The nation's rapid economic rise has brought both opportunity and challenge, and now, the choices made in boardrooms and government offices will determine the next chapter of China's story. The world is watching as China navigates this pivotal moment. If government intervention works, industries could stabilize, profits return, and innovation thrive. This would mean a renewed sense of confidence for businesses, more jobs for workers, and a stronger foundation for long-term growth. The government's role in guiding the economy could prove decisive, helping to nurture new technologies and support struggling sectors. But if price wars continue unchecked, many companies may collapse, leaving only a few giants and less choice for consumers. Small and medium-sized businesses could be squeezed out, leading to job losses and a less dynamic marketplace. The risk is a cycle of undercutting that weakens the entire economy. The most likely scenario? A middle ground. Some success in key sectors, but ongoing pressure to keep prices low. Certain industries may recover, while others continue to struggle with razor-thin margins and fierce competition. Companies will need to adapt to slimmer margins and more demanding customers. Flexibility, creativity, and a willingness to embrace change will be essential for survival in this new landscape. Efficiency and innovation will be the keys to survival. Businesses that invest in automation, research, and smarter processes will have the best chance to thrive, even as competition intensifies. This is a test for China's economic model, a move away from growth at any cost. The focus is shifting toward quality, sustainability, and resilience, rather than just expansion. The challenge is to build a balanced, sustainable economy. Environmental concerns, social stability, and long-term prosperity are now at the forefront of policy discussions. The fight against price wars is about more than discounts. It's about the kind of future China wants. Will the country prioritize short-term gains, or invest in a future defined by innovation, quality, and shared prosperity? Will it be defined by quality and stability, or endless competition and shrinking profits? The choices made today will echo for generations, shaping the lives of millions. The answer will affect not just China, but the global economy for years to come. As the world's second-largest economy, China's path forward will influence markets, supply chains, and economic policies worldwide. The stakes could not be higher. The decisions made now will determine whether China emerges stronger and more resilient, or faces new waves of uncertainty and challenge.